Yo, TS3 was fire! Up until my best sim got eaten by a cow plant.
He was a total cakeaholic, huh?
Love the stuff to death.
Well, at least he didn't lose a guitar duel and he ended up being eaten by the pit monster.
The worst one was I had this sim who lit himself on fire trying to grill, and then
his wife found the hot dog and ate it? Oh my gosh, it happens every time. What about failed magic acts and shark attacks and time paradox sickness?
What?
Haven't you killed any of your sims with those?
I don't think I've ever killed a sim.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
This is Danny Dingle, he's a sim I created, the founder of the Dingle family. Danny had it all and he was well educated. Danny wouldn't last long in my game. I gave him plenty to eat and kept him decently clean. I helped him hold down a job and live his boring routine until the stereo broke, which I then forced him to mend. And that's how one of my sims met an electrified end. Everyone knows the life of a sim is brutally short and packed to the brim with strange little dangers, so wildly weird and grim. You wanna murder every sim?
Define murder.
Terminate, polish off, ghostify.
Okay, cool, got it.
Brody Dodie Dingle was insanely untidy, which honestly inspired her demise. She lived in squalor and the odor was mighty, and Dodie got devoured by the flies. Her brother Gilbert was just as inexplicably jacked. A playful sim I put in the bubble bath while he laughed. I made him sit there all day, and Gilbert laughed till he cried, and then he choked and turned blue from over laughter and died. Nobody mourns the death of a sim. They never live long, their chances are slim. A simple decision could cost them their life and limb.
It ain't a crime to kill a sim.
Sterling Darla Dingle ate garbage and died. It took a little fudging, and yeah, I did a bit of nudging. Rugged Dudley Dingle stood freezing outside, but he didn't last long in his skimpy sarong.
If you murder your sims, they can't complete any of their aspirations.
Well, maybe they should have thought of that before I killed them.
Tuesday is coming, the reaping begins. This is on purpose to kill all the sins.
Poor Dorothy Dingle was feeling weak and famished, no fridge to feed her, and no way out to make a sandwich. The deathless Dexter demanded something dire. I made him Sunday until he lit himself on fire. Don't get me started on Dexter's nephew smiting. Young Dylan died when his kite was fried by bolts of lightning. I ran a doozy for Dexter's final hour. I made a hottie and left him naked in her shower. No one is safe, not one single sim. They die in a crash and drown while they swim. They might bite the dust while woohooing a guy named Tim. I'm sure we all agree that half of the fun is killing your sims in sadistic ways on psychotic ends. Say them up here 'cause the lights on upstairs are dim. It's time to kill another sim.
Hey, what are you doing? No, kill him! Kill him!
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It's Tuesday, and we're
It's
streaming.
Tuesday.
Why
What?
are we streaming on a Tuesday?
Why? Because we just watched The Death of a Sim. Hopefully not for the first time, but if it was the first time, I hope you liked it. Because we are about to read a bunch of comments from it. Our favorite comments. In fact, the top 10 favorite comments that we found on Death of a Sim, the musical. But we are also going to answer some of yours. And maybe yours will actually be our real favorites. We're not sure yet because we haven't read them yet. Do you want to outline how that's going to work?
Yeah, so we've pulled our top 10 favorite comments from the video itself, and we have those already prepared. But if you want to make sure your comment gets in, you type the word question in all caps, and then whatever your question is in the chat, and we'll alternate back and forth a little bit, trying to get to as many as we can in the next hour.
Yeah.
Also in the chat are our moderators, Nefinjo and Malctonio. And if you see them answer your question, it may be because it's been asked a lot before and they already know the answer. Or it might not be related to this musical, because the only questions we're going to answer on the stream today are about this musical. So please try and keep your questions to that.
Can we take 2 seconds and chill out a little bit? Because I feel like we stormed into this and it's my fault. I jumped right into the comment stuff. And I'm like, how are you guys doing? I haven't seen you guys in a few days. Maybe I haven't seen you in longer. I know YouTube notifications are slow and stuff. So how's everybody doing today? You guys feeling okay? I know my voice is garbage.
You
I'm
were
not even sure.
streaming last night.
I
though.
was. That's part of it.
We were filming something last night for this upcoming video this week, and AJ was doing a gravelly kind of voice and screaming a lot. So I think that's why. I don't think you're getting sick. I think you just strained your vocal cords.
My nose has been running. Is that part of screaming too? Your nose starts to run a lot?
I mean, there are times where if you overexert yourself or something the previous day, I've been like, I feel kind of drippy today. I don't know.
Drippy.
Guess we'll find out tomorrow.
That's the real test, yeah. Also, I've been noticing how long my hair is getting. I'm like, I haven't had a real haircut from like an actual hair cutting person since February of last year, I think.
Well, see, the good news is April's coming around, and we can make God of War 2.
Hey!
For the 1 year anniversary of God of War that everyone loved.
Why haven't we done God of War comments? Why is nobody asking for those, man? It's like nobody likes God of War the musical. I don't get it. They might like it more than Fruit Ninja the musical. I'm finding it hard to tell these days. We got a couple stinkers that have been made lately, but
everyone's saying, well, not everyone. Most people are saying they're doing really well. They're great. Thanks for asking. Really glad you guys are having a good day. There's a couple of you saying that you're tired. I'm not sure if that's because something is keeping you awake at night or if you just need to go sleep right now.
Clowns are keeping me awake at night.
But I hope you get some sleep soon, and I hope you're less tired. And to the couple of people that have said they had to go to the doctors or something, really hope all of that turns out well. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Eat well. Get some sleep. Things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the things.
I say the bad news is if you're not an adult, when you become one, you'll just be perpetually tired. That's the adult life. Is like
you get achy
I'm just always
at some
tired.
point. Yeah. It's amazing. Being an adult is a weird experience. I think I'm an adult now, though, because I wake up achy and I'm always tired. I think that's what makes an adult. That's what I think. Don't know. If there are adults in the audience, let us know. Is that what the criteria is?
I say, and of course, on cue today is Tuesday, so if you hear our garbage trucks in the background, as always,
I love those garbage
thanks,
trucks.
garbage men, for taking our trash away.
They always show up in time for our live stream. Isn't that great? It's like they're also here with us. They get on our live stream with you guys.
It's almost like they're on a schedule and we're on a schedule.
And we're on the same schedule.
Well,
and match up.
I'm glad they're here this week because we did some prop cleaning and got rid of some stuff. So our bins were full.
They were so heavy.
They
I forgot until I tried to lug them out to the curb. I was like, oh, what's in this? A body? It's so heavy. It was not a body. But it was like 60 pounds of weird dead props that we don't need anymore, that were broken or we never used. And we're like, why do we have this thing? It's easy to come by. We don't need to save this stuff.
I just feel you need to know that everyone in the chat is currently telling you that none of your songs are stinkers, that you've never made a stinker.
Well, you haven't heard all the songs, probably.
I was gonna say,
you haven't heard the grilled cheese sandwich song.
But I would agree with you that the two that I mentioned are not stinkers. They're just not popular, but that doesn't make them necessarily bad.
Underperforming.
They're underrated hits.
Cool. Hits. I like that. You can call them hits. Okay. So I feel like we've connected a little bit better now. And of course, hi to our moderators too. I love you guys. Good to see you, but through the camera. Okay. Shall we start some things off so that we can get to some of their questions as well?
Let's do it.
I was going to say, the more I delay this, though. Okay, so we pulled the top 10 comments, and of course I was sneaky, pulled an 11th one just as a bonus question. Or comment. It might not be a question. We'll find out, I guess. Here we go. Question or comment number 10 from Kyogenic. When you realize that The Sims is the most violent musical they've ever done. Which, actually, I pulled a second one that goes with this. Grimtrap77 noted 18 Nates were harmed in the making of this video.
Which actually does go really well with a couple of people in the chat right now that are asking if Nate actually died in this musical. So let's
I am right here. I did not actually die.
Are you actually dead?
No, I didn't die 18 times. None of my there were no clones of me that died. I didn't eat any poop.
It's like the Prestige. You didn't eat any poop.
I don't know if that's a question in here or not.
That would have made you die.
A lot of people thought that brownie that Grody Doty Dingle ate was a poop. It was a brownie, y'all. It's a brownie.
You know, in like hindsight though, this is why they have like test audiences and like test screenings. We should have screened that for some of you guys early and been like, what do you think? So that you guys could be like, she ate a poop, so we could be like, no, okay, reshoot that scene, but with something that doesn't look like a poop, less poopy looking. Really messed that up.
I mean, I feel like this is just, a flaw of brownies. They look like poop sometimes.
It's like the only bad thing about a brownie.
Especially when you step on them.
That's true.
They get squishy and
brown. Yeah, I
Can't
would
really
have thought
say you're
that.
wrong there.
Yeah.
I want to take a little issue though with this being the most violent musical we've ever done.
I don't think
It has a high body count.
I think it's got the biggest body count, but in terms of like violence, I think it's clean. Like there's blood in Yandere Simulator and Phasmophobia.
Yeah, I was thinking
So-
Phasmophobia especially, where I'm like, well, there's like light gore, I guess technically.
Yeah,
in
I'd say that. Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's like somebody ate a jelly bean and fell over. Like, is that really violent? Is it?
Okay, but you do have the most on-screen deaths in this
Yeah.
one, I think. So if you're looking for the Random Encounters musical to watch, where the most people drop dead at some point from one thing or another, it's this one, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But-
let me know.
Okay. No, I think you're
I'm
right.
expecting Neff or Melk to step up and be like, this one has the most kills I've counted.
One
but-
can make the argument that it's less violent because this one is actually contextualized by you and Gwen as being in the game. Whereas Yandere Simulator is, you're not saying it's a game out front. This is
Yeah.
real people
That's true.
based on the game. So.
All right. Nate makes a very good point there. Anyway, that was our number 10 comment, and it is a very violent musical, but it's all simulated violence.
All right. Number 9 from Pink Piggy Chew.
I love that name. I'm
See-
a pink piggy chew.
See, it's okay for AJ to sing about murderous violence and mass genocide towards a bunch of monsters in a flower costume, but when Gwen sings about killing a bunch of computer simulations for fun, he's horrified.
That's true. I can't argue with this one. Pink Piggy Chew called me out. You got me, Pink Piggy Chew. Well, that's because one of them is not AJ. It's Flowey. That's Flowey.
So
Get it
Flowey
right.
Is
We look the
genocidal,
same,
and
but-
AJ is squeamish.
Yes, that's right. I could never hurt anybody.
Also, I think this musical is based on Gwen's true experiences playing The Sims, so that might make it worse.
It's true.
Is that accurate?
I feel like when AJ and I were talking about making this musical, he was like, I don't actually know, like, how do people play this game? Like, what's important to people when they play this game? And I was like, well, me and my friends just all got together and killed as many Sims as we could.
Yikes. Sim serial killers.
Dang.
Yeah, so... I can't really
not
argue.
okay.
It's pretty illegal.
Pretty illegal.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Sorry.
I guess it is. It's better to do it in The Sims than not, so...
It's true.
Yeah.
Comment number 8 from Annie Walker.
Oh.
Okay, but like, who else went and recreated these Sims in your own game afterwards? Just me?
We tried.
That's a very fitting follow-up comment to what we were just saying. So Gwen is not the only one. Annie did it, and I'm sure I saw other comments of people saying they did it. And actually, we tried.
We tried.
And unsuccessfully.
We tried before. We had a 2-parter on this channel, if you guys didn't see it, where me and AJ horribly made a bad house
was so
and a
bad.
crappy family, and they were terrible. And then Gwen came in the next week, tried to course correct the trash we created, and then tried to kill the Dingle replicas.
We only made like 3 or 4 Dingles. But
Yeah, I don't think we got any of them.
No, none of them died.
Oddly, I don't know if it got harder to kill them or if I just forgot how. It has been a really long time since I spent a lot of time in The Sims.
See, I prefer Sim City when I can like sick a giant squid monster or something in the
Right?
city.
Yeah, I'd just be like, destroy everything. I don't need you to kill just the
Exactly.
Dingles. Everybody in the city can
It's
go
true, but
down.
but I love the idea that you guys went back and were like, I'm gonna make a Dingle family of my own. Like, that's great.
Let us know if you've successfully actually created the entire Dingle family and executed all of them in the same way that the game does. I'd be very interested to know if
Impressive.
anybody's taken the Dingle challenge.
Dingle
Dingle challenge.
Dingle challenge. There's people in the chat right now being like, I'm in the process right now of killing all my Dingle.
Let us know your progress. I want to know which Dingles you've taken out and which
And
ways.
how.
Yeah. I want to make sure that this is accurate. You got to get them right. They can't just die of natural causes or something. That's not okay. It's not okay.
So from our chat,
Our chat.
a part of Too Many Fandoms, I feel you so much, asked, were there any deaths you wanted to add in the musical but didn't, and why didn't you add it?
Yes! Yes, there is. In fact, there was a comment that we almost pulled asking about the swimming pool because we got that comment so many times from so many different people, and I actually didn't think it merited us pulling of one of the 10 because I knew you guys would bring it up too. So this is one where it was a good comment, but I didn't want to pull it because I'm like, someone's going to ask. And I think that segues into it nicely. So yeah, we didn't do the classic drown your sim in a pool by taking out the ladder gimmick.
Mostly because we don't have a pool.
Well, we got one full of balls.
We
There's
didn't
a ball
really think
pit.
that would sell super well.
No.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it doesn't quite look right. So you need a
No.
real pool.
Yeah, so we wanted to do that one. I feel like there was actually a couple others that we talked about, although now I'm blanking on exactly what they were. Because I think we basically went through and were like, what are the most dramatic and fun ones? Like getting struck by lightning, like burning up in the sun when you're a vampire, like catching malaria and keeling over, like, and a lot of those we found ways to do, and we had a really good time with. I don't remember there being anything like super dramatic other than the pool that we didn't manage to fit in.
The cow plant.
The cow plant.
The cow plant is another one that I remember coming across and being like, it's a very classic one. Everybody loves the cow plant. But it sounded way too difficult to pull off in the musical. So again, any deaths that we wanted to do but didn't actually include, I think were things that were just too hard for us to find a way to do. Which is weird because you can drop a meteor on someone with visual effects, but I can't get a pool and remove the ladder. It does sound like a weird, like, really? But
We don't need to get into like a visual like. It is way simpler to composite a fake meteor landing on someone with an explosion than it is to like create a digital swimming pool.
A believable pool someone is like sloshing around in. Liquid physics alone are like a nightmare.
Yeah. Catherine Moore, also from our chat, asked, what was your favorite death to film?
Nate, I'm going to defer to you. Think through all the ways we killed you. You pinpoint one that you thought was the best. Did you have a favorite death scene?
I'm trying to think.
It was seeing me naked in the shower, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
I mean the beard.
Yo, that towel kept coming off my head constantly. I mean the vampire one was kind of amusing to just. I'm trying. There's nothing like. I honestly kind of enjoyed the guy who didn't die. The last one, who was just sitting there eating Chips Ahoy cookie cereal with death.
I think, which dingle is it that drowns in the bathtub?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It was after Grody Doty, right? Her brother...
Dilbert?
It's her cousin.
Danny?
Oh, man, I can't remember these guys. We just watched it. I don't remember them.
Guy.
All right, we didn't watch it with audio.
That's true. So it's been a while. This musical is probably one of the hardest ones to actually remember all the lyrics to because I get all the dingles so confused.
Well, okay, it doesn't help that we literally swapped names around
We did.
at some point where we're like, oh, no, let's put that name here and this name here. So, like, it hasn't been the same.
Yes,
sim
they
every
changed
time.
identity.
It's also harder for us because all the dingles that die that you don't get named in the song, we named them.
That's true.
And had names for them for like our shot list to make sure we knew who was who.
That's true. And they all
so
have
even though
D
you
names.
don't hear it, we had a name for them.
Yeah, so there's like, I guess if Nate died 18 times, then there are at least 18 or 19 dingle names that we came up with. Yeah, and that was one of them, I think, was like Dee Dingle. I know there was like a Dorothy Dingle or a Dodie Dingle is Dorothy, I think, is shortened or a nickname.
I think so.
So yeah, I don't remember which. I want to say it was Dilbert or
Danny
Dingle, maybe. Man, can't remember them.
Well,
We'll look it up later. Someone will tell us.
Yeah, Dee Dingle was like my favorite one, I think.
Google it on our lyrics.
Rachel A wanted to know, Gwen, what do you think of AJ always casting you in a role with a knife-loving character? It's mostly fun. Like,
fun.
Occasionally there's something that I'm like, do I have to use the knife right there? But since getting contacts, I don't think that's happened.
Dilbert.
Dilbert.
Cool,
thank you.
There hasn't been anything that's been like unsafe or I'm like swinging it near anybody else. So it really, you just kind of get to feel like you're dangerous and cool.
Do you not normally feel dangerous and cool?
No.
Oh, chat. She's dangerous and cool, right? She's cool. There was a comment we didn't pull also that said something like, "Oh, it's so cute when Gwen tries to be intimidating and scary because she just can't do it." And I'm like, I almost agree with them because I'm like, she is always cute. She's never intimidating. But then I'm like, give her a knife and she becomes intimidating.
Most people if you
Maybe
give
the
them a
knife.
they become intimidating.
Maybe the knife is what's intimidating.
Like, I'm not sure who you would hand a knife to that you're like, nah, that's still not
like,
scary.
ha ha, you have a knife. There's probably somebody out there.
Probably.
Okay, so am I going to jump back onto our number 7 comment?
Number 7.
From Awesome Ferret, number 10.
Cool. What an awesome ferret.
But why is he number 10? Or she number 10?
There's 9 other awesome ferrets.
Oh, okay. I'm like, if you're really awesome, shouldn't you be like Awesome Ferret number 1 or something? That's okay. Number 10. Okay, who has the number 7 comment, by the way? Sure, nobody mourns the death of a sim, but am I the only one mourning that book? I mean, it was just plunged into the water. That poor book. That's true. Gilbert Dingle, we're just talking about it.
From what I know, Gwen said it was a bad book, so...
It was a bad book, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Okay, so I love books. Everyone knows I love books. I'm very
it takes a lot
protective of my books.
for her to want to kill a book.
But this one, I literally struggled through like the first 50 pages, and then I looked it up online to be like, how is this gonna go? Because I'm feeling it's about to go really badly. And like I read up enough of the plot to be like, no. Just no.
You're not gonna read that.
And
Waste
I
of
had
time.
it sitting on my shelf probably for like a year to give away to somebody, and nobody wanted it.
The bathtub one.
So
This is like our merch, man. Nobody wants it. I don't understand.
it became a really nice prop, and it looked really good, and it convinced a lot of people that an actual book got drowned. So
It was, I think, an actual book by definition.
Well, yes. It had a fake
Yeah.
cover on it that was like, what? Jokes or something?
yeah,
It was from the game.
I
Yeah.
put like a Sims cover on it so that it would be like a hilarious book to read in the bathtub.
Yeah.
But
Well, don't feel alone, Awesome Ferret. You are not the only Awesome Ferret, apparently, but you're also not the only commenter who had fears for that book's safety.
true.
And I'm happy to report that Gwen chose a book that she believed deserved to be drowned in the tub with Dilbert.
All right. Number 6 from 1 and 11.
What?
Figure that one out.
Are you the other Awesome Ferrets?
1 and 11. Maybe they are.
Right? They go together.
All right. I imagine this is the same cult from Sally Face drawn to Gwen and her love of murdering Sims.
Oh my goodness. The Devourers of God have found
It
Gwen.
could be. They've really, I don't know, downgraded? They were like going from like
They
murder.
work in a restaurant now to pay the bills.
Maybe they always worked in a
I
restaurant.
mean, they do have a nice little operation where they're programming games and stuff.
It's
in
true.
Sally
They're
Face, and now they work-
diversifying.
Yeah, but the restaurant looks fairly classy. Like,
Yeah.
the service there is excellent. I was thinking about that. It looks like a bar or something. The
Okay,
tables
well,
are-
the service there is
not
excellent as long
impressive.
as you want like creepy undead fish, uncooked rice, and a
They brought out like 6
Potato.
servers. They gave me like a napkin.
Yeah,
like, that
but,
is
like,
fancy service.
yeah.
That's fine dining right there.
So A+ on the service, but like F- on the
Their Yelp
food
reviews
choices.
are pretty low.
Dead fish and
It's
uncooked
overcooked.
an
right?
uncooked potato.
Or is it undercooked? Yeah, I'm not sure.
it was probably.
Do you want to
edible.
explain why there was an uncooked potato at dinner for them?
I don't know if there was any reason other than
I'm pretty sure the reason was
it because it was big?
we were frantically looking for something in the house that you could technically put on a plate and serve because we
Oh.
hadn't like gotten a meal for them.
Yeah.
And so we started cobbling together the worst possible, like, we have a potato. Here, put a potato on it.
I think
Oh,
at
got
one
some
point we
cheese,
were
put some
considering
cheese next
maybe
to it.
putting like just a real meal on it.
Yeah, but we didn't, I think, have
I
access
know,
to
but I
one.
thought we just decided it was funnier to put the bastard fish on there
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, I don't know when we made that decision. I just feel like there were a lot of impromptu
Yes,
choices.
we didn't
about
want to
the
actually
food.
cook anything, so we're like, we have rice and we have potatoes. Let's just put them on the plate uncooked and call it good.
I want to say that at the point that AJ decided that the servers should be cultists, also the food suddenly soured, so to speak.
Probably. I'm not even sure there was going to be any servers until that moment because
There
not like we had
weren't.
anybody.
I'm pretty sure that you were just like, wait a minute. If we do the camera like this, we can have 2 extra people to do these things.
Right, because
and
this is
then
filmed
we
in a
can-
pandemic still. They have to always be the 3 of us. No one else was
which
there.
actually was a question. I don't know if it was in the chat earlier or on the community post earlier, but I saw someone asking who were the cult members, and I'm like, it literally was the 3 of us switching off and like, okay, you throw on a robe, and no,
Yeah.
you throw on a robe, and then you do this thing, and then they'll walk in from here, and like it was really funny.
We had
It
to
was really
redo
funny.
some of the shots because we'd set on a tripod, put on cult outfits while it's recording, go do the thing, and take them all off and run back, stop the camera, and then watch the footage and go like, oh, I blocked you. I didn't even see your face. Like, oh, okay, do it again. So yeah, the pandemic filming is interesting.
Yeah.
A little more stressful. But yeah, the Devourers of God from Sally Face. I think that could be the same cult.
It could be.
I think they have to fund their operation
They-
somehow.
you know,
So
They have day jobs. They don't have day jobs.
So they're
they
also,
don't change their clothes for them.
No. no.
So I think that's the only
it's
outfit they
a theme
own.
restaurant. It's a theme. It's part of the draw.
You know, the theme from the background looked like neon kitschy lights and Elvis pictures and stuff.
That's
I'm not...
the theme. Fun cults.
50s cult.
But I saw the rest of like the cult's environment in the last video, and they did not have fun neon lights. They had bones and cavernous stone pillars and
They
Well, if
remodeled.
you don't pay your bill,
circles on the ground with creepy
Oh,
marks
so
on
you're
them.
saying this takes place before Sally Face?
yes.
Oh, they
lost-
had a cool club.
Their business got like shut down and condemned, and then they turned it into a creepy meeting house.
That makes way more sense. Suddenly that fits together really
AJ
nicely.
filed a complaint against them after leaving that day.
Probably. The police shut them down. They had terrible Yelp reviews. They had
Yikes.
one of those marks in the window that's like the Food and Drug Administration found this business to be like an F-. And
I don't know if they give.
I've never seen anything lower than a B. I've seen a B though. And I was like, what kind of roaches were in the food here?
Oh no. Number 5 is from Mr. Fancy Pan Cook, who perhaps works at a fun 50s cult restaurant. I'm not sure.
He's the chef.
Could be.
But he says, I'm confident this was Gwen and AJ's first date.
No. Very not similar to our first date, actually. Has almost nothing in common with our first date.
We went to a restaurant on our first date.
This is fitting because Valentine's Day's coming
Was
up.
it this one? Was it the?
I
the
don't
cult
think
one?
it was.
No.
You know it's not AJ's first date anyway, because he doesn't like fish.
It was a claim jumper,
true.
so it was not. I don't think cultists work there, but they don't dress up for it.
We don't know.
I don't think Sims came up at all on our first date. I definitely don't think my I like to murder people in video games came up at all.
Probably
That's a good pickup
Probably
line.
a good thing to not lead with. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if we even talked about video games on a first date. It's weird because this is a little weird,
we did.
personal, but
I don't think we did. I think we talked because I just moved to California, so we talked a lot about why I moved and how I was enjoying it and like life stuff like you talk about on first dates. We had a very normal first date, I think.
did we go to the movie before or after that?
After that, because we
Okay,
talked,
so we weren't talking about the movie because we hadn't seen it
no,
yet.
we talked so long at the restaurant we had to switch to a different showtime of the movie because
That's how you know your date's going well. You miss your screening because you're actually hitting it off.
yeah, it was a good first date.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, so it
He
had
did
almost
not-
nothing in
He
common.
did not run screaming from me at the end of it.
That's true. Was I wearing pants in both videos?
Yes.
I mean, in the video and in the first date?
Yes.
So that is the closest comparison.
That okay.
He wore
so
pants.
This is
I
a
don't do
weird
that.
and funny thing about our first date. But AJ almost never wears pants. Never.
For you people in Europe,
He wears short pants.
I wear
maybe.
short trousers, is what she's saying.
Yes. But I showed up to his house because I was coming there straight after work to go on our date, not actually quite understanding I was going on a date. He had just been like, "Do you want to go see this movie?" Well, I had said I want to go see this movie, and he said, "Oh, do you want someone to go see it with you?" And I was like, "Yes."
She said nobody wanted to watch it with her, and I saw why, because it wasn't a good movie.
It was not a good movie.
We had fun, but it wasn't a good movie.
But I showed up and I was like, he's wearing long pants. It's a special day. What? And it was one of the things that tipped me
Is
off.
that only the second time you've ever
Social
seen me
cues.
wear pants, too?
I'm trying to think. You were definitely wearing it on the set of
Yeah,
Senpai
because I
Notice
had
Me.
to wear them for costume on Senpai Notice Me. But I'm like,
Probably.
I'm guessing you'd never see me wear pants except when it was for a role. So,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
special occasion material.
it was.
Yeah. Hey, my parents told me that people take you more seriously if you wear long trousers. So, I had to be taken seriously that night. Also, job interviews, usually.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Sophie Reed wants to know if the jelly beans on the jelly bean tree were real that Nate got to eat. And somebody earlier, I'll have to look for the name, had asked what flavor you ended up picking and whether or not it was good.
They were real.
Okay,
I
good start.
don't even remember.
Did
what
they grow on that
flavor.
tree?
Yes, they grew on the. They were
Wow.
naturally growing jelly beans.
Organic?
No, they were
Hand-grown?
jelly beans that we put on a tooth. Like the ones that I wasn't grabbing, that were just kind of decorating the tree, were stabbed with a toothpick, and then they were put into the tree to stay in there. And then the one that I grabbed specifically
Just
was
loose.
just loose. I don't remember the flavor. It was probably like I don't know, like cherry or...
Yeah, I don't even remember what color it was when you
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
did
know.
the video.
I don't remember either. I do remember either before or after it, all of us like taking turns eating some of the jelly beans and being like, nope,
No, not that one.
They're not great jelly beans, I feel.
I swear there was like a butter popcorn one that got.
That
Yeah.
one, yes.
See, that's my problem with some jelly beans, is they give you, like, these weird butter popcorn and, like, paint chip flavors. And it's like, unless I'm buying, like, Harry Potter's, like, booger-flavored jelly beans, I just want some basic, like, lime, cherry, strawberry, like, those kind of things.
Yeah. There's always like a mocha one in there that's like coffee that I don't want, but I end up
Like,
accidentally
even
eating.
coconut is like pina colada ones. They're
true.
too much for me. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's true. Jelly beans are too adventurous for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coco Muffy wants to know, does Gwen's character just keep her laptop with her everywhere? If so, where does she keep it?
Does she?
In her secret butt holster.
No.
The secret laptop
No.
holster.
I have to assume that she thought maybe the date might not go well and had brought along insurance to make sure she could have a good dinner. So she was gonna like play Sims.
I just
Well, she was
assume
right, it
she's
did go
got
well. Dinner?
a severe problem and has to bring her laptop with her.
She does seem addicted.
She has
She's got
a
an obsession.
compulsion and an
Yeah.
obsession to play it. Maybe she took public transportation there and she played it on the way home or on the bus too.
Maybe.
Or
Maybe. I don't think she takes it with her everywhere, but I think she thought she would have time to play on the way there or at dinner or on the way home. That's what I'm going
maybe
with.
she was hoping if they hit it off and he was into it, then she could have like shown him for Sims.
Like, come on, let's
Take a
just
look at my Pokemon.
sit here taking up a
basically.
table all night, killing all of the Sims. The cultists might have been in on that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Suddenly the entire restaurant is all crowded on this laptop, just murdering dingles. It's the saddest thing in the world. I'm gonna steal this sheet back.
Yeah,
Biff,
go
we have
for it.
another one from the chat that you want to read first. I got find where we even left off. That one right there.
I assume.
I'm seeing a bunch of questions that we technically already answered in this stream, so if you're just
Oh.
now joining us,
Welcome.
welcome. Glad to have
Hey
you
there.
here.
Sorry
when,
you,
When we're
uh,
done, you might want to go back and watch the
Yeah,
beginning.
might have had your question already answered earlier in the stream.
Yeah.
Comment, I should say. Comment number 4. We're getting down there now. From Sugar Comment, exclamation point. It's a very excited Sugar Comment. Can we take the time to appreciate all the wigs Nate wore for every sim, while at the same time looking nice as each of them? Smiley face.
Hey.
This is the only time I ever look nice.
With all these fancy wigs. Piggybacking off of this comment, I actually pulled a second one that was related from SFM Animation, or I'm sorry, Animator, who said, I want to know, is Nate actually blonde, or is he a redhead? Or brown hair? You feel me?
Well, I feel like I've got a little hair growing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that bald spot. It's so bad. This is why I'm bald always. My hair is like, it's brown, but it's technically listed as black on like driver's
Yeah.
license because it's really dark brown. But yeah, no, I'm not a redhead. I'm not blonde.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because I was
I look
like,
good
that's
as a redhead.
That's a good question since you guys never see him with hair unless it's fake hair, really. But I'm like, oh, you see him with like facial hair and
Yeah, my
some in the
facial
back
hair is
from Mario and
basically,
stuff.
you know, the same color as my hair on my head. So
Yeah, but I agree. He actually pulled off all those wigs surprisingly well. Like,
Well, you know, I've known Nate for a long time,
Yeah.
and I know that he has tried different hair colors throughout his life.
that's unfortunate.
So I can say that there's a reason he looks good with each of them. It's because he has experience being
Oh,
a redhead
yeah.
for a while, having a little bit of blonde hair going on. He's done a couple different hair colors over the years.
All of them mistakes.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you have a favorite one? But apparently,
Well,
not so
the
much.
blonde color was terrible in 7th grade. It was awful. The red was technically
Everything about going
the
to
red
7th
was
grade is
technically
terrible.
fine, except the dye like very quickly turned pink. And then we were on our senior trip in Florida and got a lot of sun, and it quickly turned like burnt pink, and then it just looked bad.
oh no.
So I think it was just a bad options all around.
but your Animal Crossing character has red hair.
It's true. My Animal
Yeah.
Crossing character does have red hair.
There you go. Good question.
Where were we? Number 3 from Ariel McClory. What I want to know is why did AJ stick around after his date ordered the magical talking undead fish off the menu? And piggybacking off that, Super Dementio Brawly X says the singing Satan zombie fish.
Yes, aka the singing Satan zombie fish. You guys came up with a lot of creative names for this fish. So why did I stick around as soon as that thing gets ordered off the menu?
Maybe
Were
he
you
thought.
worth it?
Maybe,
This could still be okay. It's okay. I'm gonna be open-minded.
maybe he thought it was just the service that was bad. He's like, all right, so the restaurant choice is not good here.
Maybe he thought it was like a fanciful name for the fish. Like maybe when he heard her order it, it was like, oh, I wonder what that's gonna be. Not like I'm getting a zombie fish for dinner. Like
Okay.
Maybe he thought he was being pranked. Maybe he was waiting to see if like. I can't even think of who comes out from the curtain. Like some famous person, like, hey, you're on Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, you've been punked. You're on. That's dating ourselves.
Yeah,
right. I'm guessing that she didn't order it. I'm guessing that that's just what they serve there. I don't think they ordered any of that stuff. I think those cultists just brought it out to the table.
You
it's
only
like bring
get
out your
one option.
breadsticks or whatever. It's like,
Well, they had to bring in the guy to sing the bass.
yes, that's right. So I'm not even sure that something was ordered, or she placed an order before I got there or something and was like, oh, I got things coming in a couple minutes or whatever.
It takes a while to prepare those zombie undead fish.
It does. It does. A couple of like
You have to go out to the Salton Sea and.
Yeah, but also you can tell like once the song begins, like I'm fairly like uncomfortable. So it's like my body language is I want to leave, but I think mentally I'm trying to like hear her out. But then like as that builds over the course of the song, it's more like I don't know what to do, and I'm like.
He's trying
Frozen?
to establish if she's like an acceptable amount of weird. If you're like, I can go with this.
Yeah.
Or if it's gonna just.
Yeah, by the time the fish actually shows up at the table, if that's the first time I've seen it, then yeah, you'd think I'd just blitz out of there instantly. But I think I stick around just long enough to be like, can I escape? Is she gonna kill me if I run? Things like that. So that's a good question, though. It's a good question. Good observation. Do you want to read the next one?
I'm surprised this one made it this high in the list. But anyway, I pulled this one kind of as a joke. I wasn't sure if AJ was going to like this one.
I like taking the
I haven't
joke
seen
comments
these
and
ones, so.
putting them up higher.
Number 2 from Spade 1350. Why does she do Sexy Psycho so well? It's uncanny.
I put it so high on the list, by the way. Not just because it's also true, but because there were a lot of thirsty comments I noticed on this one. There are a whole lot of
people are twisted.
I will admit, I saw this one and I was like, I think the sexy was on this commenter's end. No offense to you whatsoever, but I was not going for Sexy Psycho. I was just going for Psycho. So if it accidentally ended up that way, I don't know what happened.
This is an interesting musical to discover your kink in. I'm into murderous women. Interesting.
Huh, didn't see that coming.
Ooh.
Undead fish really turned me on a little bit.
Slight reminder that Replayed is a slightly older crowd than Random Encounters, so if we say something cross the line for you, I
mildly
apologize.
We tried to be too explicit, but
yeah, but that it happened, I guess.
Yo, there were so many people that wanted you to be their waifu after seeing you in this. They're like, I'll take that date. If he's gonna leave, I'll come sit down. Like, you gotta eat that undead fish then. It's part of the deal.
And you have to listen to the story of the next 18 Dingles.
That's true.
It may get worse. You don't know.
Like, as though at the end of the song, she's like run out of Sims she's killed. I'm like,
no,
something
more.
tells me there's a
There's
backlog.
more. Speaking of Dingles, Kaya Reader wants to know, and I apologize if I just pronounced your name wrong. How did you come up with the name Dingle?
Okay, so I know actual people that have a last name like Dingle, so I feel bad about my assessment of calling them Dingles in some ways. But for years, when you hit that point when you get tired enough that you start acting silly and goofy and you do like stupid things and everything's super funny, you get that like sleep delirium. I refer to that as getting dingly, where you just start making silly, goofy decisions because you probably should go to bed, but now you don't want to because you're having too much fun. So that's just a phrase I've been using for a while now of calling people dingly. I got dingly that night. That sounds weird. It's like maybe I don't say it like that, but getting dingly around here. We're getting dingly.
Getting dingly.
Yeah, getting dingly. Gwen was, for example, very dingly last night. She hit a point where I was like, it's time for bed. And she was like, no, I'm going to stay awake for 8 more hours. And I'm like, You've been awake longer than everybody. You were falling asleep while we were trying to film. She's like, I'm not gonna now. And I'm like, you are dingly. And sure enough, she confirmed it this morning when we woke up that she fell asleep 2 seconds after rolling over in bed after I turned the lights off. But she insisted that she was not gonna fall asleep for the rest of the night. Because she's dingly. So the Dingles just sound like a goofy family that do some pretty dumb things. And it's not their fault. They're getting forced to by
definitely not their
Gwen.
fault. It's
Yeah.
I'm probably the most dingly of them all for inventing them and making them do what they did.
One could argue that the Gwen in the musical making all these Sims and doing these terrible things to them is in fact the dingly one who's like, I think it'll be funny if they wear too much clothes and go out and burn in the sun. I think it'll be funny if they so
Jake, you didn't
I was gonna say, you have to read.
But Jake Reed wants to know, Nate, were you spitting toothpaste when the rat bit you?
No, I had to think for a second there. No, that was whipped cream. I kind of just took the can and shot it into my mouth. And I think I probably switched it around a bit to get it more foamy, and it kind of grossed Gwen out. Gwen has a thing about food, and she was under that cage puppeteering the rat. She was in the splash zone. I don't think she got hit.
She got some on her pants.
You did? Oh, but did you get hit as much by that as I did by him being Ted?
No, not at all. But I just have a thing. Once something's in your mouth and it's food, it shouldn't come back out. It should never come back out. And also, I really shouldn't see it. So when we were filming that, even though I knew it was just whipped cream and whatever, it had just melted or whatever. I literally had my back turned and I was puppeting the rat without seeing what I was doing. It was great. It was the best time we've ever done a shot like that.
But I have two problems with this. So with your claim that once you've eaten food, it should never come back out. One is, that's very bad for your intestinal system. And two, what is Brody Doty Dingle going to eat if it never comes back out?
A brownie!
Oh, it's a brownie. Okay. Maybe that was some of the questions. People came late and were like, why did she eat the poop? Sorry. Anyway, my joke probably wasn't that funny. But
everybody knows what I meant. Except you.
Shouldn't come back
Did
out.
it bother you, though, when I had potato chips mushed into that brownie as well?
And still took a bite out. You ate the whole thing, actually.
Not really.
See, that bothered me. I'm more bothered by that, I think, because I'm like, ew, gross, don't eat a potato chip with your brownie.
Well,
if you eat a brownie, you're like, and spit it back out. I'm like, gross, funny, gross. Ew.
All right,
It's a
so I
different
need to
you.
know.
And I'm the high end of the spectrum. I'm like, meh.
It's all good.
Who's in the Gwen camp? Who's in the AJ camp? And who's in the Nate camp?
I'm like Ratatouille.
Yes,
I'm like, you gotta mix the chip and
No.
the brownie for an explosion of flavor.
No, keep those separate. You can eat them one at a time. It'll be fine.
Mixed with whatever was on the bottom of my foot.
And Gwen's like, just as long as you swallow it at the end.
The brownie I ate was not the same one I actually stepped on. We had a pre-squished one, so I was actually not eating floor brownie.
Floor brownie, my favorite.
Oh my gosh. One more question from the chat before we move back to that list.
Eat.
Rebecca Scowcraft wants to know, what do you think would have been the name of the restaurant that Gwen and AJ went to?
Rebecca Scowcroft, always hitting us with these classic, memorable questions.
Right?
Ew, the dead bass or something like that. That's like a fragrance, actually.
Yeah.
What's French for restaurant? Restaurante.
I don't know.
That'd be Italian, actually.
You've
like
been to
ristorante.
France as many times as I've been.
I don't remember the names of restaurants there.
I don't either.
Yeah, weird. We didn't dine at any nice ones, I guess. We're like, this one's close to Disneyland and has a pirate theme. We'll eat there. It's got a bunch of kids and slides and stuff. This is our kind of crowd.
This is weird though, because the ones I remember eating at, we went to a bunch of outdoor cafes. I don't remember them ever having a sign that's like, you're eating at blank cafe or whatever. It was just you're in between the Louvre and the Arc de Triomphe, and look, there's an outdoor place you can order steak, so we did.
Yeah, it has to have sounded nice enough that my character would have shown up to the...
Okay.
If it actually had a gross name, I probably wouldn't have been there. But it could have been, discreet. It could have been, I'm trying to think of something that, From the Depths or something like that. And I think it's a seafood restaurant, but there's more going on.
I like it.
Could have been Chef somebody's,
Boyardee.
I don't know. So clearly it's a place that sounded like it's a cool place and they serve, okay food. And then I find out it's run by a cult and they serve a dead bass on the plate.
I'm going to say that it was possibly called, Machiavellis, but like when you read it, you accidentally pronounce it wrong or something, so you don't realize what you're doing.
That's not bad.
I'll go with Machiavellis.
That's pretty smart. You got one?
No.
No? No. Sorry, we'll let Nate stew on that one a little bit.
Also, thank you to everyone in the chat that is backing me up that food coming back out your mouth is gross.
Oh, okay. All right. It's funny on camera.
There was a suggestion for French restaurants having chaise in them.
Oh, not bad. Okay. Yeah. It's like...
I just don't think it would have a French name. It was
don't
very
think so?
Tex-Mex looking with Brits and Cactus and Elvis.
You're right. Okay. That's fair. So maybe it has Cantina as part of it or something.
Oh, I like it.
I'm not good at naming restaurants, and thankfully I've never made one. So it's not been my job. I was just thinking we did name the one from Goose Game. That little pub area. I'm trying. What did we call it? Sunnyside? Yeah, because it's like eggs. They're like sunny side up. So yeah, I think it was like the Sunnyside pub or something. Is it time to read the number one comment?
Oh
I believe
goodness!
it might be time.
Number one.
Number one comment that we pulled. Here it is from James the Sundari. Plot twist: she has never played The Sims, and they were all real people she killed.
Accurate.
No, wait a minute.
I mean,
I think that might be possible. It's adding up. I didn't think of it, but the more I'm thinking, it's
okay.
possible.
So she created an elaborate cover story though, because I don't know how she summoned a meteor to kill someone, and
the meteor could have been like, I took a sledgehammer.
I dropped a piano on someone.
Yeah, I've embellished it a little bit as it was a meteor and it happened in a video
How does
game.
the vampire one work though?
Oh, I just lit someone on fire.
Like I
Yes.
trapped someone. I trapped someone in a tanning booth and jacked the heat up.
I think, well, there's a reason I ran away from her. And somebody who plays, The Sims violently is not actually scary enough to run away from, I think. Somebody who might kill people in real life. My character might agree with you that...
No, wait a minute.
This might be real
Are you telling me
murder.
that if you showed up to a first date and the girl could really only keep talking about all the vicious ways she murdered a video game character, that you wouldn't be like, something's unhinged about this girl and I should probably leave?
It would set up a couple red flags, but mostly only if it went on for minutes on end and I clearly wasn't like, oh yeah, I've done that too, let's talk more about that. Like, that's the thing is, like, it's more like a socially missed cue to be like, I have no experience. And they're like, well, let me sing a song about it in the restaurant for 5 minutes.
Props to your date, though, for having a musical number prepared.
It's true.
She's like, I wrote this, I brought it with me.
You wonder how many dates she's been on where this exact, conversation and then the same song comes out and stuff? She brings them all to the same restaurant with the cult people.
So the cult people are literally just her backup dancers.
How many verses do you think she has? Did she get through the whole song, or did she, you ran away so she decided to stop? If you had stayed, would there have been, a 10-minute song here?
I'm guessing that every time she does the date, there is more verses because she's probably killed more Sims since. So, yeah, that was the number one comment. And it was a good
What
one.
is this upside down question, though?
Why a top secret bonus comment that I made sure to sneak on that sheet because I always like to do 11 instead of 10.
Our bonus comment is from Beep Decal.
Beep decal.
It took a little fudging, and yeah, I did a bit of shudging.
A bit of shudging. A bit of shudging. I like that comment because it just takes a line of the song and random encounters it even further.
does.
If you're shudging,
That's like a double fandom.
You gotta. Is that in your pants?
I don't know.
No.
We don't know what the
No,
true
it's shudges in their pants.
definition of a shudge is still.
All right, random encounters people who know what shudge is. It's time to come up with an official definition. Let us know. I loved that comment too. Anytime that shudge gets embraced more, it just makes my heart grow 3 sizes.
It's perfect because you take a random encounter song, you take a line out of the song, and then you double random encounters it. So it's like one further than
random
just
encounterception.
Yeah,
and
good
also
on you.
it just does describe the musical.
A bit of
There was a
shudging.
bit of shudging behind the scenes. I did mess up my lines a lot. I did have to sit there.
That's true.
I think somebody asked earlier how difficult it was to stab the bread with a knife without looking, and I remember the bread flying off the plate at one point because I stabbed it sideways and
That was the scariest stuff with the knife the whole night. I think.
It was
watching her try to stab it hard enough, but without looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, It did take a bit of shudging. I would wear that t-shirt.
That's a good merch idea. And speaking of merch ideas, I got merch on right now.
I know.
You got merch on right now. But
I have
that's not
merch you
available.
can't buy.
You can't get his. You can still get mine. It's in the description below.
Or if you like Shudge, you can get a Shudge shirt.
That's true.
It's true.
I don't own a Shud shirt. I'm sorry to say.
I've
Gwen
worn
is
mine
in-
too recently, so it's in the laundry.
Oh, I'll go take it out and then I
Like
can wear
currently
it.
in the laundry.
No, not currently in the laundry, in my laundry basket.
Oh, okay.
Gwen has a legacy of not cleaning out the washing machine when she's done. Or the dryer.
That's right.
That's just a thing she does.
It's just a thing you do.
If I told you that on a first date, would you have asked for a second date?
How did you do laundry in
mind.
college? Because like I felt like if I didn't get my laundry out of there, like the split second it was done, some butthead would come and throw it on the floor or something.
So,
Buttheads.
I saved it all up until the semester was over and then took it home. Is that what you did?
Oh no!
Wow!
Publish that.
well,
Yikes.
I didn't like using quarters to do my laundry.
They
I
didn't give
was
you a
just,
card that you like?
No, you had to use
Oh.
quarters at my campus, and I was like, I never have enough quarters to actually do my laundry. Like when I want to do my laundry, I'd have to go somewhere and get quarters and do it. Like it was just a whole hassle. And I went home often enough on breaks. It actually was not that big a deal to just be like, I'm bringing my laundry home with me. Like.
Wow. I would hate
So-
having to bring a bunch of dirty laundry in the car, back to my parents' house. So it'd be like, I would avoid that, I think, at all costs.
Yeah.
Like, it's gross. I don't want to carry around
Well-
a bunch of dirty laundry.
The funk.
The funk is real.
I
Maybe
don't-
her clothes aren't funky.
I don't
and mine
remember
are.
there being that much funk. Maybe English majors don't make a lot of funk.
I sweat a lot, so everything I wear gets sweaty, and then I have to wash it. This is like TMI
This is-
central here.
I don't know why we're
Welcome
getting
to
so
the
darn personal
TMI
on
hour.
this one.
Let me tell you about my dirty
but-
laundry. My actually dirty laundry.
But we have about 8 minutes left of this stream, so
What?
if you have a question that still hasn't been answered, you feel free to continue to ask them. I'll continue to grab some out of the chat. Let me find one.
Sure. While you're doing that, I'm just going to plug again. If you guys had fun today and if you liked these comments we pulled, please hit that like button down below. It lets YouTube know that we showed up and we did our jobs. We answered some comments. We looked at your comments, which I think is important still. I can't imagine how some people maybe don't read the comments of their channels. And I know that some people are just afraid to read them because there's not always great feedback from people. Sometimes there's some mean comments. I've seen them before, but it's so worth it because so many of you guys leave so many great comments. So I couldn't live without reading them, even if, it meant stomaching a few mean ones. So thank you for doing that, and please let YouTube know by clicking that like button that we enjoyed reading your comments and that we're going to do it again next month. And we have a bunch of live streams with you guys before then, of course, too, though.
I just have to say I'm reading through all your definitions of shudge right now.
Oh, I
and
wanna hear a couple.
I'm loving them. Shudge, alternate meanings: shoot, darn, yikes forever.
Yikes forever.
I agree.
I could see shudge being that.
Shudge is short for shudging fiddlesticks.
Shudging fiddlesticks.
Shudge, darn it, I just saw
I don't even know what a fiddlestick is now that I'm talking about it.
Fiddle?
Is it like a bow that you play a violin
I
with?
think
But
it's fiddle.
Is that what a fiddlestick is? Or is it like a fish stick, but it's like...
Shudge is a thick liquid that is often toxic toward other organisms if touched.
Ooh.
I like that one a lot.
That sounds like shudge. It's sludge, but it's not.
Shudge.
It's shudge. It's even worse.
Shudge is nudging and shoving. Sorry.
You need a bottle of water.
Nudging and shoving together.
Okay, I can see it. Nudging and
So
shoving.
it's a
Shudging.
violent push.
Fiddlesticks are an instrument.
An actual instrument?
Fiddlesticks are a traditional instrument used to add percussion to old-time and Cajun fiddle music, allowing two people to play the fiddle at the same time. The fiddler plays in a normal fashion, and the second person uses a pair of straws, sticks, or knitting needles to tap out a rhythm on the strings over the upper fingerboard.
What?
So
You're
it's
not you guys should see this picture. It's like somebody
Just-
playing.
just Google
and then somebody else
fiddlesticks.
trying to I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not. You're playing on a surface that big. It's
well,
like, how are
that's
you?
what fiddlesticks are.
What? What in like? All right, I'm trying. I don't want to be
Maybe-
mean to
maybe-
whoever invented the fiddlestick. but-
Maybe this is why, like, maybe they're actually considered kind of like, I don't know if this is rude. Maybe they're considered stupid Which is why someone's like, fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks.
It's like, trash.
Yeah, maybe.
And being like, well, this thing's dumb.
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
Yeah,
Like,
rubbish. That kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, they looked very silly trying to like play the fiddlesticks, and so I was trying to play the fiddle, and I'm like, just get two instruments, man. Just separate those and have. If you're gonna get two people to stand there with your things, like stand separately, so you don't have to both play around somebody's fingers trying to like.
We
what?
like intimate group activities.
I mean, it does look more challenging if you have to play it on somebody else's thing while they're trying to play the instrument. Like that certainly seems like a challenge mode version of what I just described.
Fiddlesticks.
Pot and Sandsters wants to know, where did you get the rat? Asking for a friend.
I was thinking about that rat earlier, actually, so I'm glad you asked. That rat puppet is actually from the Globe Theatre in England. They sell those plague rat puppets because Shakespearean times, of course, were still being a little bit impacted by the plague. Not the plague that we have now.
I like how you said it like it was like the last lingering bits of it, not like Shakespeare's theater literally got shut down 3 times, I think, because no one was allowed to go out.
Well, I was just thinking it's incredible that they were doing performances in the middle of the plague, that they could get people to show up for them. Like, that's a sign how important Shakespeare was, I guess.
All right, let's be honest here. We're in the middle of a pandemic plague, and people still show up for stuff they shouldn't show up
Fair
for.
enough.
So
That's fair.
clearly we shouldn't.
This is a perfect opportunity to remind you guys that we all live together. I'm married to her, and he lives down the hall from me. So that's the reason nobody sits around in masks on these live streams, because we all live together. We are one household. That's like asking you and your parents, who might live in the same house with you, to all wear masks when you go down to the kitchen to have breakfast together. We wear masks whenever we leave the house, and we try not to leave the house during the pandemic.
Yes.
So that's
But
just your little...
before the pandemic, we went to London. We got the puppet from the
Yes. That was on our honeymoon,
It was on our honeymoon.
which was
It lovely.
2018. So a couple years before the pandemic.
I
was a
just
thing.
realized anyone that was at the meetup with us in London,
Yeah.
we, I believe, went straight from the Globe.
The rat
to
came with
the
us.
meetup. So you were there. You were there with the rat that killed
Where did
me.
we have the rat? We had to carry it?
I'm
was
pretty
it
sure
in
I
a-
was carrying a bag.
Did we have a bag? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
'Cause I
either
also
way,
had
the
all
rat came to the meetup.
The things we were giving away with me. So I'm
That
pretty
is
sure.
really funny. Good observation.
He sits on our stairway right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's true.
does.
Yeah, he's
Like, if
chilling out.
you've seen our stairway and, like, Granny and stuff, there's, like, the big,
A banister.
the ball at the end of the banister, yeah. So he's a puppet, so we just plopped him down on it, and he sits there and watches
He
over the
stands
living
guard over the stairs. Yeah, that's so funny. I never thought about the fact that we ran straight from the Globe. We literally ran all
We
the
were
way
late.
over to the park.
We were late.
Yeah, showed up late, but got to hang out with a bunch of British fans there in the middle of London. And we had the Plague Rat puppet with us, who then got to be on the channel. That's so cool.
Yep.
Good question. Do we have other ones? I know
Who
we're short
played
on time.
the Grim Reaper in our musical? I don't think we
I
actually
was the
said
Grim
that,
Reaper
though.
in all of them, I think.
Yep.
Yes. I don't remember anyone else being in that costume.
Again, we couldn't get somebody else, so it had to be either Gwen or me, and I think it was always me.
Mm-hmm.
Yee!
Wasn't me, I was the dingle.
I was gonna say, you literally couldn't be him in almost
Yeah.
any shot. The only shot you could have, I think, is like the door opening shot at the beginning. But like, he's in every scene with a dingle of some sort.
The Lion King Adventures wants to know what death scene took the longest to film.
Which of the deaths took the longest? Did we have one that was more elaborate than the others? I do remember one that took a while was the scene where you were the dingle that dies from the poison in the jungle. Which we have a little bit of a jungle set going on, so it kind of jogged
I
my
don't think
memory.
that took that long.
You had to put the green circles on at some point.
Oh, just
too.
a makeup wise.
Yeah,
sure.
we had to film it a couple different ways. We also had troubles getting you to fall in the right spot with death in the scene. And
I mean,
couldn't
I
hold
feel
it
like
upright.
probably the shower one was one of the long ones too.
Yeah, that one
We
was
had to put the
complicated.
face mask on. The towel kept kind of coming off every once in a while.
Yep.
We had to get the shots lined up under the beard's legs properly.
Yeah.
It had to have enough like water dripping and stuff, but
Yeah.
in a shower where you don't want to get the camera wet.
Yep.
So yeah, that one also did take a while.
I feel like we did a bunch of takes of the bathtub one too, because I feel like there was a lot of. Did that look like he's actually drowning or not? Did you see Nate take a really huge breath? Before he
Yeah,
went
I was
under?
thinking
Like,
about
stuff
that
like
one. I'm like, dead people don't take a big breath. You can't do that. Yeah, I'd say those were the ones that took the most, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like we had some visual effect issues on a couple, but I don't remember none of them were so over the top that we had to do too much work.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think I'm seeing a lot of the questions winding down. They're kind of wandering to other places. So in our last minute, I do think somebody asked if we wanted to give one more hint for our next musical.
Oh, another
Does anybody
hint.
want to give another hint?
Huh.
I'm trying to think of what we've already said.
I'm pretty sure I said we were making a musical for this game already, but now we're making a second.
Right. So we
this month.
had a planned musical for this game already. We're doing a second one before the planned one even comes out.
Yeah, I don't think though we ever told just the general public about the music. Like, you see what I'm saying? I think we had a behind the scenes thing for Patreon people, so they could probably figure it out. But I'm not sure anybody else could.
I'm pretty sure there are some other people that if you talk to me in the comments ever, I never flat out said that this thing was coming.
Give away our
but
secrets. This is a good reason to talk to Gwen in the chat, I guess.
It is a good reason.
You
to
can
talk
learn
to
all
Gwen.
sorts of sneaky things from Gwen when she's typing it and doesn't have to say it out loud.
It's true, particularly on the first day that a musical comes out. I try to be in the comments of that musical a lot, so it's a good way to catch some news.
You want to give them any kind of a piece of information? Like, we're probably, 2 weeks out now from launching it? I mean, it's not going to be this week and it's not going to be next week.
Yes.
So 3 weeks, I guess,
So
closer.
this week we have a silly, fun thing coming out.
A challenge.
Hopefully next week we have something
It's like a music video.
like a music
I
video
think you guys are going to be really
coming
excited
out.
about what comes out next week, but it is not a new musical.
And
Read into
then
that how you will.
We're gonna do the new musical. So you have 2 Fridays and then the new musical.
Basically, you have a really good February ahead of you here on Random Encounters. I'm hoping. We're trying really hard to make it cool. And of course, we've got other plans. We've actually got some finished projects that are going to be coming out later this year that we're still just tweaking a little bit, but they're coming along really, really well. But yeah, February especially, we've put together a couple of really cool things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a hint about February's musical.
A hint. Like, it's available on Nintendo Switch.
It is available on Nintendo Switch.
There you go. That's a lot of games, but
It is a lot of games.
that also excludes a lot of games.
I think I'm weirdly going to add that when we were talking about making this musical, and I'm still not sure actually where we're going to film it, but it got brought up whether or not Apollo Park, where we filmed a bunch of musicals, is open.
Alright.
Because we thought it might be useful.
It's true. That's a location we used to film at a lot, and since the pandemic, we haven't been back at all. But scenes of, for example, Untitled Goose Game, that was the last one we filmed there because that was right before everything shut down. So even that has been filmed over there.
But you can see a lot of it in the Muffin song. You can see a lot of it in the Magikarp song.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
It's
yeah.
Baldi's Big Zoo.
It's
Baldi's Big Zoo. So we frequented that park a lot until the pandemic hit, and I'm hoping that it's open and not super populated so that it's something we might be able to sneak the 3 of us over and do some filming for. Especially because numbers, thankfully, finally, have been coming down a little bit, and they were astronomically high, so it's not saying a lot, but I'm hopeful that this trend with the coronavirus is going to continue, where we are vaccinating people. We are beating it. We have defeated it in several different places now, and our hospitals are getting things under control by having fewer people showing up in them sick. So, really hopeful.
So we just have to be a little bit responsible and safe for a little bit longer, which means we are still filming this musical with just the 3 of us. But we're looking forward to days where that won't happen anymore.
I am looking into safe ways that we can potentially do some recording again with other people from outside of Random Encounters. I don't know exactly what it's going to take. We do have some things around the facility, our house, our studio. The facility sounds like ominous. But we have now like a what do they call a sneeze screen or something? It's like a piece of glass basically, so that you can keep somebody technically through a glass wall where they can see you, they can kind of hear you. But we have one of those now, so you could technically have somebody come in and record from behind there and mostly be safe still, especially if you're masking at the same time. Haven't used it, but we have one. Took us way too long because we thought the pandemic would end sooner, but we have one. So we have some cool opportunities hopefully coming up to be able to work with some other people in safe ways, and we've been really lucky to find a couple go-arounds like Nate Wants to Battle back in November, getting him to record a major part of Phasmophobia the musical for us as one of the characters. Yeah. I guess that's all for now. Friday this week on this channel, we're going to be playing a little Valentine's themed game. It's going to be fun. It's not a video game, though.
What?
Not a video game. It's true. We've got a party game we're going to play
Yep.
that I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with, and I think you guys can participate a bit too.
Yes.
So please show up Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time to play a cute little dating game with us. It'll be super fun. And also, of course, Friday we have a challenge video coming up on Random Encounters that leads into a couple cool musicals or music-themed stuff the rest of the month. So hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, leave us comment on other musicals, and of course we do a comment stream every month. So I don't know what your choices are going to be yet for next month. Do you have a...
We have to figure that out because our
Yeah.
trend of how we've been choosing before, we're caught up. So
Caught up.
we have to go back
Change
through
our
some
trend.
things that maybe didn't get voted on.
Interesting.
Before.
Maybe we'll open the door on some really old stuff.
Ooh.
Who knows? Who knows? If you want to make a recommendation really quick for some musicals that you want to see comments streamed for, would we accept even if they want to suggest something we have done a comments video for?
I think
don't
we
know.
should shy away from that for a little bit longer.
All
I
right.
think there's enough
Okay.
other musicals that haven't gotten any comment response
That's
that we
true.
should stick to.
Yeah, and I hate to, if we end up pulling the exact same comments a second time,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably not going to be interesting. We won't have new things to tell you about those. But let us know if there's one that you don't think exists that you would actually be interested in seeing. Otherwise, we'll still have a poll up for you guys to vote in.
Also, to the green flamethrower, no, we're not playing Spin the Bottle. No worries. Nothing gross will be happening on next Friday's stream.
That's not COVID safe.
You can kiss the people in your own household, technically.
I don't want to.
That's just, I understand. That's just uncomfortable.
The only
Oh my god.
I'll kiss
I
the
have different
I'll kiss
problems
the
with this.
penelope, but
Oh,
like on
kiss
the
the
top of her
penelope.
head, not like
There you
on
go.
the mouth, because that's weird.
Kissing your
You
pets
can't
on the mouth. Kind of weird.
All right. Well, before this develops any further, I think
Sure.
it is time for us to sign off. Thank you so
Okey-dokey.
much for joining us today. I hope you had a great time. I really
I
enjoyed
did.
spending this hour with you guys, and we'll do this again next month.
Alrighty. Hey, did you guys watch the Super Bowl, by the way? If you're Americans, hope you had fun watching the Super Bowl. Happy end of sports ball season.
Sports ball season.
Catch you guys on Friday. Beard salute! Woo!